Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money with your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 1162 of Screw the Commute podcast. Today's episode is AI does not make you special. Okay. We use it, but it doesn't make you special. We'll talk about how you can highlight your best things to set yourself apart from everybody else that's using AI. And hope you didn't miss episode 1161. That was a warning about Claude and how it's watermarking, its definition of watermarking and what it's doing to anything it helps you write. I want you to know about this so it doesn't make you look bad. And pick up a copy of my automation ebook at screwthecommute.com/automate free. Version 4.0 is finally out, so grab your copy. Even if you have 3.0, you'll want to get 4.0 because it's the latest, greatest. And check out my mentor program, greatinternetmarketingtraining.com, where we work with you one-on-one. We don't put you in any groups. And it's the longest running, most unique, most successful ever in the field of internet and digital marketing, a mentor program. So check that out, greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. And my school, imtcva.org, certified to operate by Chev. And you get if you're in my mentor program, you get a scholarship to the school that you can gift to somebody or use yourself for extra training. So there you go. All right, so let's talk about how AI does not make you special. See, everybody is using AI. There's a recent study that said more than half of small businesses are using AI already. And I can put that into the general public. They're using it in some fashion. So using AI isn't much of an advantage anymore, and it's going to get less and less and less. Now, using it really, really well could be an advantage for a while until it gets so easy they just plant a chip in you and you think what you want and it's done. probably already doing that. And I probably say I'm probably a 5 out of 10, and I teach this stuff, right? So there's people that have gone to the nth degree with AI that just things far above my pay grade, all right, and far above things that we would need as a small business. I mean, it's big enterprise AI usage in massive companies is way beyond my scope, and most of the people listen to this podcast. So being good at it for a while, you can teach others could be one of your things, and you can use it to your advantage better than your competitors. So that's great, except it's only going to last for a while till it gets so easy. So what can you do to be special with what you have or could develop to make you stand out? In other words, what could you highlight? What could you use AI to use to leverage whatever you got going now to make you stand out? Well, here's some examples. Your reputation. I got a lot of these things covered, folks, because I've been teaching this. I've been in business nearly 50 years. I know you can't believe it when you see my little baby face. All right, and virtually, well, I would say 0 legitimate complaints. There might have been 1 or 2 over these years of somebody that just didn't do the work and then wanted to blame me because they didn't make any money. I mean, that happens more frequently than you would believe, but long reputation. So I got that. Relationships with customers. All right, what relationships do you have that maybe you could do a better job of keeping in touch with them? Because they're the most likely people to do more business with you. They already know you're good, and they don't have to worry if they go to somebody else that's going to be bad. So what can you use AI to help that out? And how about success stories? And there's testimonials that you probably forgot about, and that you could have AI search out for you and then bring them back to the forefront. And that would show your longevity. Now, some of you are thinking, well, I'm brand new. How am I going to do any of this stuff? Well, I'll tell you about that in a second. Do you have any proprietary ways that you do things that nobody else does, or that nobody else knows anybody else does? There's a famous story about a beer where this beer company, the advertising person said, oh, we make it with this hops and this yeast and everything, and everybody did it the same way, but all the beer companies, but they were the first ones to tell everybody about it, and they increased their market share unbelievably. So do you have any of those kinds of things that people wouldn't know about? Or have you really developed things that nobody else is doing? All right, you want to bring that to the forefront. What's your experience? Like with me, like 1,800 mentor students, tens of thousands of people I've taught in seminars in 12 countries, So when you see these, wet behind the ear kids telling you, no experience, you'll make $2,300 a day just by buying my $7 course. All right, come on. How stupid are you, right, to believe that kind of stuff? So experience can be brought to the forefront. Hey, and I hate to say this because I kind of think that I have a pretty personality that attracts people, because on stage people are laughing, coming up to me, and I treat people right, and so I believe I have a pretty good personality. Brash sometimes, I admit, but I think one of the other famous speakers said something about, you're not a braggart if you can produce. Okay, so that kind of stuff. So your person, and the reason I hate to say about personality is because there's loads of people that are pitiful at what they do, but their personality attracts business. So if you have personality flaws, I can think of one guy right now. I do business with him, but I don't really like the way he does business. He gets all butthurt when somebody makes one little complaint that's probably correct in many cases, and then they come to me, and there's nothing wrong with these people. They're not pains in the neck, but he just deletes them and pushes them away like they're idiots. I don't want anything to do with them. Well, okay, I'll take the money, and I do. I've got a lot of money from people that he was shitty to. All right, so improve. Get some. Some self-reflection. Jesus, see what other people think of you. If he asked me, I would tell him, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to, go overboard and go to this guy. He's not my best friend or anything, so just a business colleague. So personality can get you a long way. All right. Because especially a lot of the young people coming up have zero personality because I was at a restaurant yesterday, a whole family sitting there on their phones. Not one word spoke from the kids to the father to the mother. Not one word was being spoken. So I'm not sure how they develop such a great personality, these young people, when that's what they grew up with, is just sticking their face in a phone and not having to deal with people. So increase your personality. And then with me, another one I use is my email list. See, because nobody can take that away from me. All the social media stuff is borrowed, or you're renting space, and you could have your lease cut out from under you like instantly. You don't get 30 days notice. Okay. So push your email list if you've built that up. And if you've built a community, tap them more. If they're in your community and you're the leader, chances are some of them really, really like you. And if you would just ask for their help, a lot of Facebook groups, the administrators are people that were just showed that they were really, conscientious people in the group and were asked to be administrators. See, for free. Nobody gets, I'm not saying nobody, but in some of the maybe massive big groups behind a company, they might get paid. But a lot of these groups have enormous numbers of members, and they're just all homegrown, grass-fed, I don't know, grassroots. Grass-fed. That's a little different. That means your group is run by cows. I'm not sure that's the best image to put out there, but you gotta. So those are things. Now, if you're brand new, you're saying, what the heck can I do? Well, you can use AI to research. So, when you're brand new, you don't have a track record. So you might put effort into things that nobody wants, you can't be profitable at. So at least AI can cut through a lot of stuff and help you do your research so that you're not trying to push some idea that you think is great, but nobody on earth wants. See, so that way you're only pushing things that clearly people want instead of trying to start a business where you're just guessing. See? So that's where I'd use AI if I was brand new. And then do whatever you can to get results for people as fast as possible. If you have to do free stuff, and a lot of these people are preaching, don't do anything free, it ruins your reputation. Well, bullshit. Those people, they're just trying to take an anti look at things to try to be special, right? They're just going opposite. But see, there's so many people doing it, it doesn't make you stand out anymore. I mean, if you get results for people and get testimonials from them, that's really powerful. And get referrals, that's a good way to start. But again, if you're pushing things that nobody wants because you didn't know any better, well, it's going to be a long road for you. Okay, so that's where I would use AI to leverage myself. So anyway, you want to use this AI to make things competitors can't copy and make them profitable. And here's some things you can do if you've been around for a while. Have it mine your old material. Have it locate your best stories that got the best response. Locate forgotten testimonials that you can bring to the forefront, again, that shows your longevity and how well you do things. Use it to repurpose and repackage stuff so you're always coming out with something new. And use it to help automate keeping in touch with customers. By itself, it doesn't do crap for you to make you special. All these other things I just talked about is what makes you special, to stand out, because everybody's using it and more every day. And again, like I said, even if you use it very well to teach it, that's only going to last a short period because it's just going to get easier and easier for everybody to use. So anyway, just keep that in mind. AI doesn't make you special. Dig into these other things: reputation, relationships with your customers, success stories, proprietary stuff, your experience and personality, and your email list and your community. All these ways that you got to pick something out and push it to the, not just one, you can push a lot of them if you have a lot of them. Like I got reputation, I got customers, I got success stories, I got, I don't have a little bit of proprietary because I've got this retreat center that you actually live in for an immersion weekend with me. And nobody on earth does that. Nobody's crazy enough to do that. But so, what may, pull out things that make you special, bring them to the front, experience and community and email list and all that stuff. So there you go. Just remember, AI does not make you special. You should learn to use it and actively try to get better at using it. I have that AI Summit thing. I think you go to screwthecommute.com/AI hacks. I think that's the address, and you can watch. If you just watch that hour-long thing, that would make you know more than 90% of your competitors. All right, so you can improve on this and then use it for yourself, and if for a while, you can teach it to other people if you want. All right, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We'll catch you all in the next episode. See you later.